Hey everybody, welcome back to This is Fantasy Rugby Games. My name's Jared Dyke.
I'm Ben Glauber.
Welcome in Fantasy Time. Let's have a chat about it and a look at it as well. Yeah, I'm actually not partaking in my second beer. That's a first.
No, I'm gonna leave it to one beer.
Yeah, same. Those things happen. Yeah, let's do a quick rewind here because that's what we like to do. We like to look back at the weeks that was. TRM first, of course. What else would we lead off with? A little bit of movement here and there in our Champions Division 1 here.
Mm-hmm.
All I keep doing is moving up a little bit each time.
A little bit each week.
I'm up to 2. I'm up to 6. Although I get quite a gap to jump here. If it's actually not too bad. But it'll still be a fairly significant jump if I can do it between me and George. But that's okay. Right. But yeah, Mark dropped all the way down to the bottom, and Anton and I both benefited by moving up a place. And then Carrick jumped up a little bit too. I think he had the best week. Yeah, he had the best week of anybody in the league. So
yeah, that'll do. That'll do, pig.
Yeah, that'll do. It's only a point between he and Justin now.
Right. Woo. And there's much more distance between them and me than them and each other.
Well, yeah, obviously. Yeah. So lead it off. Top has not changed. Ben's 1, Duncan's 2. Third is Carrick. Fourth is Justin. Fifth is George. Myself in 6th. Anton in 7th. And Mark holding up the bottom. Let's go over to Division 2 because there is a second division. And we talked about that multiple times. Little bit of movement. And yeah, just a little bit of the movement at the top, a little bit at the bottom. Kobus jumps up into 2nd. And Gary has jumped up from 2nd bottom to 3rd bottom. So that's all right. It's just like me. So now we have, there's a switch at 2nd. Franco's still leading. Kobus at 2. John, Terry at 4. Hey, look at that, Terry. You're doing just fine, bud. Liano at 5. Yuri at 6. Bob at 7. And Larry, better week from Larry, though. I will say that. You got 461 this week. So much better. All right. Much better. Yeah, there, my friend.
Right. We are just in the we're not even at the first turn in the season. I'd consider like the internationals kind of the turns in a way. Like right. This is it. Like you have the next couple of weeks, and then after that are going to be key to jockeying for different positions. So, if you had a rough first quarter of the season, that's fine. You still have a ways to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Franco and Kobus both hit over 500 this week. Pretty good weeks.
Nice.
One of them had the balls to captain Itoje. That was smart.
That was. I did not. I captained Dom Brandt, so I'm not complaining.
Yeah. And somebody gave C and K to Smith.
I almost did that.
Worked out all right.
That still 66. Worked out really well. Yeah, that's still a fucking excellent week. So.
Yep. So not too shabby, boys.
Right. Yeah.
In the FRWs, some high scoring matches. Carrick beat Anton. That was a high scoring 184-73. Duncan just absolutely crushed Justin. Duncan hit 100.
Oh wow.
Yep. Good day at the office there, Duncan.
Duncan in the All Blacks.
What did he do?
Work.
What did he do? He had
No, he didn't have Skosan.
No, he didn't. He had Max.
Yeah,
he had Max, and he captained him.
Yeah, there you go.
That'll do it. Oh, big one. And then Mark beat George in a matchup that probably didn't deserve to have anybody lose. It was pretty good, 91-79. And then you got me, even though I had Skosan for a hat trick. That was pretty much everything for me. It all fell apart after that. I had Jacques Dutoit and Stewart with 5 each. Actually, it wasn't too bad. But you had Montoya and you captained him, which was good. Right. Farrell and his kicking, that kind of helped. And you had Hoggy, and Hoggy scored once, twice. So that'll do.
Yeah, at least once. So right, we'll take.
Yeah, that'll do the trick there. This week we are looking at Anton and Duncan, Carrick and George. You get Justin, and I get Mark.
Oh,
see if I can finally get the fuck off the goddamn schneid here.
Can you beat him, please, so I can move up more?
Where are you at?
I think I'm in.
You're
second.
in 3. You're in 3.
I'm still in 3rd. Damn it.
Yeah, I think you're in 3, but you're close.
I thought I'd leapfrog George.
You're close though.
But no, he won. Okay, no.
George won.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's George, Duncan, then you.
Dunk. Oh, okay. Fuck.
So,
all right.
Yeah. So you're right there, buddy. You're right there, but you just need to get one of those guys to.
Yeah, I couldn't remember who was ahead of me. So
yeah, there's your answers right there.
There you go.
There's your answers. All right. Let me just find my notes because we're gonna do start sit. So much fun. All right, lead off. Look at that.
You do.
Gloucester and that other rugby club from Devon. Friday night. So for Gloucester, Valor Papa Ruskin, opposition are weak against props, last on a per match basis, and he is the strongest of Gloucester's props. He's also scored well in his last two. So if he's in and you got him, play him.
Going back to last year too, he's been a very good fantasy prop,
and he's just not, for whatever reason, he's not on any international rosters or radars. So keep on rolling him out there.
Yeah.
Singleton or Cecino are fine to play this week at hook. Opposition are soft against hooks as well, third from bottom, and both with singles being the preferred play scored well. Singles has scored well in 4 of his last 5, actually. The one forward position the club from Devon don't surrender many points to is number 8. Ben Morgan owners and Jack Clement to a lesser extent. Be cautious. Probably bench him this week, even though he was pretty good the previous few. So I would pass on that.
How do you think that works, though, knowing how many players that team from Devon is?
Let me check something real quick, and I'm actually glad I have this page open.
Because if they don't have, if they don't have Johnny Hill, they don't have Sam Skinner, they don't have
well, I can tell
Sam Simmons. Like, I don't know. I don't know that I would trust that same defensive prowess.
Right.
Prowess.
It's been okay from them, but as far as their rank goes, that's the one thing that I have concern for them. So yeah, I mean, if you want to play them, but just like be cautious with it. That's all it is. Yes, the Tuasu had just scored a boatload on them, and that's with their guys. But the first couple of weeks were 20 and 25, so it's not bad. But at the same time, like, you're hoping to get 35 plus out of your 8 man, aren't you? So
right.
That being the other thought.
I mean, true.
Yeah,
Irish.
so,
I don't know that you.
Right. I nobody saw Tuasu again.
I'm not sure. Yeah. I'm
so
not sure if I trust their back 3 or the back row fantasy wise.
Right. So it's a little dicey there. So just be cautious. The opponents that this week from Devon, Will Woody. I actually don't hate him. He's 201 cost wise, scored well in 3 of his last 4, and Gloucester are not strong against locks. They're 10th. So for an outside play, especially with no Hill likely this week, that's a strong contrarian play right there. So I consider it.
You're pretty sure he'll start, like you said. So I agree.
Yeah. I like that. He's been playing even since they've gotten most of their guys back. So I think I'd give him a thumbs up. Another spot to look, Sam Hidalgo Klein. Gloucester are weak against the 9s. They're dead last. He scored 20 plus off the bench. So if he's starting, he's 100% worth the play. If you have the maneuverability to grab him for the week, then you're going to be in good shape, because I don't see him scoring less than 20 with a start against Gloucester, especially since he's done it twice from the bench. So I'll give him a thumbs up. Tom O'Flaherty yet to get going, and Gloucester's strong point is the wings. So only 2 starting wings with 20 plus so far. Potter and Ollie Hassel-Collins have scored 20 plus. If you have him and have zero choice, okay, you live with it, but seek other options and bench him if you can.
Yeah, and plus now that without Slade, Cordero, and Hogg,
we'll see what that looks like.
Yeah, what's that? What else? Who's going to be there to help him? I mean, Hogg.
I think Cordero and Hogg might still be around this weekend because it's mostly the England players that we're looking at missing. Players. We'll see. Okay. We'll see.
Yeah, they still might be like, don't fucking play that guy.
You still could get a phone call from the coaches, be like, please don't play him.
Yeah. On to my game, the Irish versus Bristol. So Bristol are strong versus hookers, locks, flankers, and scrum halves, and they're weak basically everywhere else. The Irish are strong versus locks, 8-man, fly half centers, and wings, and they're really only weak against props, scrum halves, and fullbacks. So for the Irish, you start Ollie Hoskins. If you haven't been paying attention, He scores very well, especially if he starts, and even if he's off the bench. He's one, like as you were mentioning with Sam Hidalgo Klein, Hoskins will get you 20 plus off the bench. I mean, you talk about how many tackles he makes plus his meters. That's just points. That's prop points right there. Gus Creevy, big go. Rob Simmons, yes. Phipps or White, whoever's starting there. And then that whole back 4 or 5-ish, Rona, Ollie Hessel-Collins, Ben Loader, Tom Parton. Yes. Sit the Irish back row for Bristol. Start Afoa, Thacker, Holmes, Urin, and Piatow. Those are the only guys who everyone else is going to be a gotta see it. And those are the only guys really worth having on your team right now. But you're going to bench Vui, Luatua, or O'Connor if you haven't cut them already, and I would recommend that you cut them if you haven't.
Yeah, I've cut. I have no Bristol players on my team right now.
I think I'm the same.
Yeah, I need to see it from the Bears in order for me to regain confidence. And I had to cash Piatow in. That was the other thing. Like, he would have been the one to hold, but I had to cash him in. So much money, and I needed to fill so many gaps.
Right. I mean, that I think he obviously didn't pay for it by himself, but he paid for Itoje for me. Oh
yeah, pretty close at that. Okay, big one. Northampton and Leicester. This is going to be a match you need to find the guys that score strongly regardless of opposition, or the guys that are going to be able to exploit the few weaknesses on either team. Teams are 1 and 2 in scoring fantasy defense, so this is going to be a tough one to find the good ones out of. Northampton, Tom Wood, the place the Tigers can be had, and it's likely we don't see Lewis Ludlam or Courtney Laws. This is the flanks, so he is probably the best pick of the bunch remaining. He scored 2 out of 3 starts. He scored pretty well, so give him a go. And that's at 6, by the way, so pretty good. Yeah. Sam Adebisi, if he's in, and if you are stuck with him as your only option at hook, and you're trying not to surrender 20 points for a transfer, there is some light. Tigers have given up 20 plus to starting hooks in 4 of their 5, including 45 from Creevy a few weeks ago. So that's probably the one shining light right there. There's a lot of Fraser Dingwall owners around here, and that includes me. Get away from him this week. Dan Kelly, Matt Scott, Mateus Moroni combination in the middle there is strong. They're first against centers, so run away from that one right there. And I'm glad that Dings did so well last week, but man, I'm gonna do everything I can to get the hell away from that. For Leicester, Jack Van Poortvliet, Northampton have been slightly softer against 9s than anywhere else. So, and we know Van Poortvliet will go for a scoot. He scored pretty well considering he's only played 50 plus minutes in each start that he's been given. And Northampton had given up points to Maunder Robson and Will Chudley. So there's that little spot there. Marco Venstaden, Northampton are generally strong against flanks, but 3 of their 5 matches, they've given up 20 plus to 7s. I assume Venstaden's going to continue to play that role, so you can just assume to play him. Okay. Likely we don't see Genge this week, so maybe you'll be thinking, the points will fall to either Cole or Joe Hayes. I realize they're not the same side of the scrum, but just the same, that's bad news. No, anybody that had that cute little thought right there, Northampton are number 1 versus props, so find a new idea.
Well, plus they don't score. Genge doesn't get the points because of the place he plays. Genge gets the points because he does the shit that gets you points.
Because of who he is. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, you done?
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool. I was like, couldn't tell if I was just interjecting or if you had more to
all you.
Okay, cool. On to Worcester versus Sale, which is going to be just a fantastic fucking match.
Depends on who you ask.
So here's a fun fact. Worcester are who they are. They're 5th. The Worcester fantasy defense is 5th versus props, and they're 10th or worse everywhere else. There's that. But on the other side, Sale, you might not look at it. It might not be evident right from the sheet if you're looking at how many their points per game that they give up. They have just played the number 2 and number 4 attacking teams in the last 2 weeks, Harlequins and Leicester. Neither team had a 30-point scorer.
Okay.
So even if you are considering playing a Worcester player just because you're like, maybe they'll get to go off, Harlequins, Leicester, neither of their teams had a player that went off against them.
And they've had some players to do that. So
Worcester, my notes for Worcester are stay away from Worcester. No, bad. Don't. No one. Stay the fuck away. No. On the sales side, start whoever's at hook. Anyone named Dupree, Robert's not playing, so you're all right there. Yep. Quirky or Cliff, and then no one outside the 10. So if AJ, legendary AJ shows up, he's a big time go. Right. But nobody outside of him, because I don't think there's anybody that's going to be eligible outside. Like, what? Then even Tui will be gone. So no,
likely,
yeah.
I think he's in the squad. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and Quirk's in the squad, but we'll see if he gets released.
Yeah, I bet he's one that they would get released to play.
Yeah, we'll find out. Bath and Was. Ooh, a whole lot of bad against not so great. So we'll see how this goes. For Bath, they are at home, so that's the upside for them. Jacques Dutoit, Was have struggled against twos. They're dead last, and Stuart Hooper seems to prefer Dutoit over Dunn as far as a starting hooker goes. So he could be one of those outside the box contrarian plays that gets you ahead of others. Just a thought. I'm not in love with him either, but you know what? It's just one of those things that you need to maybe look for outside the box sometimes. The man we call Scory, Rory McConaughey, Wasser soft against Wings, the 12th, and this could be the match he finally breaks loose. No Muir, no de Glanville likely this week, so he's gonna be the guy. So
yeah,
hope to God he is for a lot of us. Ollie Fox or Ben Spencer, Wasser very strong against the nines. They're first, and I would not anticipate this being a fun week for either of them. So seek options elsewhere if you are desperate for a 9. For the Was, Stuker Cardle, yes, we know about Viafafit. It's not news.
No, that's a go.
But Bath are very soft against locks, though. So if either one of them are in and you're inclined, I would give them a thumbs up as well. So yeah, like they're gonna do well, I think. Here's a name that I had to pull out of my hat because that's just how it is at Was. Gabriel Augre. Assuming he did the smart thing to get his ban reduced by a week. He should be available and just in time because I don't think Frost is going to be healthy, and Cruz is likely to miss this week as well after leaving last week. Bath are also bad, but Bath are also bad against hookers as well. So there's that. They're 12th. So Augrey could be Augrey to the rescue if you're in one of those in case of emergency break glass for your hooker situation. Despite Bath not being great against fly halves, I still can't recommend Jake Umaga if Gopperth is in because. And considering they have almost 0 centers, he's definitely going to be playing. And that means he has the tee, and that's where Jacob Umaga's value just sinks, unfortunately. So, yeah, just takes a hard nosedive. So, can't recommend him despite what the ranking is.
Right. Last but not least of the matches, the Harlequins hosting Sarries. This is the 2 top attacking teams and 2 of the top fantasy defenses. They're the 3 and 4, I believe. So, but at the same time, I'm going to go in a departure from what you were saying with Leicester and Northampton, because I think this match will be 2 teams slugging it out, because that's the way Sarries will have to, right? Because the Quins will play that way. They'll just go. And the defense doesn't quite matter because there's going to be a lot of tackles to be made. So both teams will be, they'll be both making a lot of tackles. The points will come from the defensive side as well as the attacking side. So onto the match itself for the Quins, I'd stay away from the front row. There's not much going on there. Yeah, really.
Marler's not going to be in, so
right, and the points aren't there really for Marler.
No,
at least they weren't last week anyway. Dino Lamb maybe in the locks. I'm not sure how much the Sarries will make, or render him less effective in attack. I think Kenningham's going to have a big week because he's going to be filling that Dombrant role, I feel, in attack and defense.
We'll see.
We'll see if he can, but if he's going to be there every man everywhere. So I think he should have a big week points wise. DC, obviously, Tommaso, yes. Esterhazen, I think, is a must have at this point. Not sure about Murley or Lina because I have them on your bench if you have them. Saracens do do well against wings. Green should have a big day because, as you've seen, Sarries like to kick, so that's just points for fullbacks.
Yep.
On the Sarries end, Wollstonecroft is a big go. He's one of those who will get you. He's a case of emergency break glass for the next 3 or 4 weeks.
Yep.
Love, you'll do well with him. Start Ezekwe, Earl, Christie if he's playing. I think he'll make tackles and run, as we saw this past weekend.
Right.
I think they'll need that rather than Ray's guile, because Ray is not athletic enough for this match, I don't think. And Christie is. Billy V is a big go if you're having money on him. Laws if you're using his boot. Sit Davis. Good, Davies good, and the wings, whoever the wings are, because without Malins around,
yeah, who knows with that one, unfortunately.
They don't have much in the way of attack outside of Malins at the wing position. A lot of defenders, solid wings, just not fantasy wise.
No, probably not. All right, of the weeks, right? So obviously we'll start with
my of the week. So I'm interested to see if who your of the week is.
Yeah, we'll see if we did the same thing here. we're batting 1,000 so far. Well, not 1,000, but we've gotten at least 3 or 4. That's the same so far. This guy plays like a back row, but is in the second row because of many reasons right now for his club. He'll be fresh with having a rest, and his club need a performance out of him like this. He settled well into life in England, and his opposition present a tasty matchup, even if it's away from home. My start of the week for round 7 of the Prem is Wasp Big Tongan-born Kiwi import via Fafita.
Yes, excellent choice. Not mine though, so good. We didn't do it. My start of the week is you mentioned him because the team he's playing, it gives up a ridiculous amount of points to his position, and he scores points at his position. So Exeter are giving up 53 points per game to the prop position, and Valrapava Ruskin is a point scoring prop. So and he's getting like a fairly high amount above the average. So it's not just that he's scoring well against teams that don't generally score well. So going up against a team that doesn't defend the prop position, go with Val.
Yeah, good. That's a good pick. All right, well, this is why it's fun to have this, because sometimes you and I have different opinions. Because my sit of the week, I really like this kid. He has a bright future, and his club should be extremely excited about what he can do. This is going to be a tough week for him, though, with the opposition being very tough on his position, and this likely to be quite the tussle in general. My sit of the week for round 7 of the Prem is Quins in England, young number 7, Jack Kenningham.
Interesting. Okay. I think he's going to be making a shitload of tackles. So,
but that's what he's supposed to be doing the last couple of weeks. He hasn't done it.
Well, yeah, it's because he's had friggin' Dombrand around. So he's going to be he and him have been kind of flipping off back and forth between, making tackles and being there to poach and stuff. So, yeah, we'll see. My sit of the week from the same match, because it's time to drop him, is Ala Davies.
Oh, yeah.
He's not scoring well, and he's not scoring well relative to the opposition average. So it's not like he's being held in check by solid defenses. He's just not really contributing much to the Sarries attack. He's not. He hasn't been running trail lines. Like, they've had line breaks, and they've just been finishing them without him. But when Jamie George is running down the field as the option for Vincent Cox and Davis is nowhere to be found, that's the problem.
Yeah, it's probably the red light right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no argument out of me with that one, that's for sure. Yeah, and I'm sad he's not as productive as we might have hoped, but c'est la vie. As long as he keeps playing 9, I don't give a shit.
Right. He's fine. He's fine 9, just not fantasy wise. Time to drop him.
Nope, not worth it. Not worth it at all. Yeah, this weekend will be interesting. We got to come up with something for you and I against George here.
I still like the so I'm favorable to the whoever loses has to the winners get to pick a drop for them in TRM. So there's odds to that too, because George would be able to tell each of us that we had to drop someone.
Right.
And we would only give him one.
Right.
That's the way I would see it.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's a good one.
I think that's a good one, but at the same time, that's almost like 2-to-1 odds for Sarries. So I'll take
that'll be good. That'll be a good one. I think it'll
Even
be fun.
If they are Quins,
I mean, geez, just going down that lineup, like it's funny because the players that'll be in and out for each side, like usual loose head for Series will be in, not for Quins though. Usual hooker will be in for Quins, not for Series. I think Cox got one more week to play, so he'll be in. We'll see if Lowe's back. Right. Second rows don't really change a ton for either team. You lose at Morrow, which is obviously a big loss, but like just plug and play with either Hunter Hill or Swinson,
Ezekwe,
whoever. It'll be Ezekwe. I know that. Right. I don't doubt that. But then, and then the back row doesn't change for the Saracens at all, and you lose Dombrant on the other side.
Yeah.
Nines don't change. The 10s both change, so that's
right. But
that's a big one. That's a big one right there. Your 12s are probably the same, although you're going to see laws probably bump in.
Right. And
they'll change once. You might still be there for one more week.
Oh, that's right. He might be there. Yeah.
So we'll see. He is in the whale squad, but he might be there for one more week.
And then it's questionable whether, who knows if Marchant will be around.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Eddie releases him or not. We'll see. And then it's Green and Lina for definitively for the Quins, and then the back three for Series, no max, but plug and play for
because they're defensive. So
Lewington and Roddy or whoever,
they'll defend. So
each team's losing a little bit, and each team gets to hang on to a little bit. So it'll be very interesting to see how that goes. I mean, the overall nod in terms of some of it is probably going to go to Quins, but we'll see, especially since they're at home.
Well, there's going to be players who would want to be in that. Who wouldn't want to be not eligible for that match, like the Vunapolas, like the Linas, who are gonna want to show Eddie, Joe Fucko.
Hey, dipstick, remember this? Well, take a look at this.
Right, because it's like that. Yeah, Lina. I was kind of disappointed that Lina didn't express himself much.
Yeah, afterwards.
Billy V has been he was improved this past week, but again, consider the opposition.
Consider the opposition and consider, the alternatives that you have right now. So, it's time for Simmons.
Billy doesn't have much of an argument.
It's time for Simmons and Dom to get their shot. That's just how it is. Okay, to the pick of thems, Gloucester and Exeter Friday night at Kingsholm.
I got Gloucester.
Yeah, I do too. Like I won't be shocked if Exeter muscle this one out, but after the way they played last week, me, that's a chink in the armor right there.
If Hastings plays, and I would assume he would.
Oh yeah, that's true. He only had a knock last week, so I didn't even think of that. Yeah, they are way better with him at 10.
Right. If he plays, it's over. But Exeter just won't have when Exeter don't have Sam Simmons, what do they have?
It's pretty ugly.
And when they don't have Slady, what do they have in the backs?
Yeah.
It's kind of ugly.
We'll see.
So, I mean, they have other backs, but it's just not the same without those two guys who just transcend everything.
Correct.
And that's going to be, I don't see that going well for them. And Gloucester are playing solid. So Exeter aren't even playing their Exeter's game well. So I can't really pick them to beat anybody when Gloucester are playing well enough to beat teams.
Right. Yeah. Like you said, Hastings at 10 should be enough. All right. London Irish and Bristol.
Exiles.
Yeah. Sad to say, but Bristol now need to show it.
I can't pick Bristol until they win one.
Yeah, really can't. Northampton and Leicester, big one.
I got the away team, the visitors.
Same.
Leicester storming
the gates. Yeah, I had them in my head already. Worcester and Sale. Bath and Was.
I got the visitors storming the gates.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Bath just because I think the Was are just a wee bit banged up. Not to say that this is gonna be pretty, but there you go. You get a chance to try and close the gap on me a little bit.
Yep.
Quins and Series.
They got Saracens.
Yeah,
I mean, come on.
Take the guys in black.
Yeah, no, I'm not nearly as confident there. I just wanted to kind of sound like I was.
Yeah. No, I'm not that confident either. But this is one of those matches that all right, it's time to back them. Like,
right?
Yeah, it's time to back them.
No, I I love what the Quins are doing.
Right. Same.
And they can beat anybody. But so can Saracens, and Saracens have been doing it for longer, and they've been just, punishing teams.
They've been beating the shit out of teams.
Yeah. And Quins have not been perfect. And that's, they can be had. And we saw that from the first 20 some minutes of the Bristol match when Smith wasn't in. Bristol were doing some good shit against them, not with the best lineup either. But so the Saracens, I like this matchup for Saracens. Yeah. Just especially without, with Marcus Smith not being in the match.
Right.
I'm very pleased about
I'm not
this.
mad about that at all.
Alex Dombrett not being at this match. I am very pleased about that.
Same.
And these are two guys that I love to watch, just not when they play Saracens.
Did you hear Danny Kerr on the commentary on last Sunday? He's like,
he was great. Yeah.
He was so good. Oh, great call.
Yeah, it's like ref next week. Yeah.
Somebody said, he might be your ref next week. Oh, great call then. I love it. I love the former players getting involved with that stuff.
Oh, because and Flats was great too.
Flats is awesome. I really like that guy. Really do.
He talked about DC, like talking about his size 9s.
Yep, something like that. I was like, yes, okay. We need more. We need more guys like David Flatman for sure.
We do.
I love
DC's it. DC's just like that. Like guys who aren't, Oz.
Yeah, preferably not that.
Stop moaning. Like just enjoy it for what it is. It's enjoyable.
Yeah, enjoy the Ruggers and shut up.
And they made it so much more like, me. I have started to just tune out the comms to the point where sometimes you'll say like you'll react to something. I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about because I wasn't listening. Like I'll watch
for good reason usually.
But I'm listening to my internal monologue, not what they're saying because they're fucking useless. But when Flats is announcing, when DC's there, you gotta fucking keep your ears tuned.
Tune that in, yeah, definitely. Great. Yeah, and Topsy's another one.
Topsy's fantastic.
Absolutely enjoy the hell out of listening to him. He's so great.
I think has been fantastic. He has improved. He started.
He's improved so much.
He's because he's gone away from that Oz type stuff.
He
used to be one of those moaners and because that's honestly I think that's all he knew.
Maybe yeah.
And so he was kind of on that edge of not now there's like a newer breed of former players and current players who can actually talk the game and make it entertaining rather than something to bemoan. So
yes, please. All right. So that'll do for the fantasy episode. Those that are on Patreon, you'll get our show notes shortly here. Actually, they'll probably be up by the time you listen to this. So there you go. Joke's on me. Joke's on me. Yeah. So busy weekend for all, it sounds like, but we'll catch you guys next week and hopefully good reports to come back after that. So everybody enjoy the Ruggers, enjoy your weekend. And thanks a lot for hanging out with us. Have a good one, everybody.
Later.
Cheers.